Hello, and welcome to our Google Workspace security tip. Today we're going to look at disabling POP and IMAP. But first of all, let's have a look at what users and which users are using POP and IMAP protocols. To run a report in your admin console, select Reporting, Reports, User Reports, and Security. Here you'll find a whole bunch of different security metrics against your user accounts. As you scroll across, you'll see there are numerous different columns, including when Gmail and IMAP was last used and Gmail POP was last used. If you do not see these columns, select the gear icon to manage your columns that are visible and select to add a new column. As you can see, as I browse down, my users have never used Gmail and POP, and therefore I know it is safe to disable. You may find it easier to export this information to a Google Sheet so you can perform a better analysis over your user accounts if you have a long list of users. Once you've performed your analysis and determined if POP and IMAP can be disabled, we can go and disable POP and IMAP. To do so, browse to Apps, Google Workspace, and Gmail. Scroll down until you get to End User Access. Select End User Access. Here you'll see POP and IMAP access. Select the top OU to apply the settings to all users within your Google Workspace tenant. As you can see in our example, Enable IMAP and POP access is already disabled. This is the ideal situation. POP and IMAP uses legacy insecure protocols to sync user data. If you have not disabled your IMAP and your POP access, look at unticking IMAP and POP access within your admin console. You may find in your report that all users are not using POP and it can be therefore disabled. If you find that this is the case, leave IMAP selected and untick POP access for your users. Once you've done so, select Save. In this situation, POP has been disabled, but IMAP is still allowed to be used. This is not an ideal situation, and therefore we can carry on making a more granular exception. We can do this by utilizing Google Groups. As you can see, policies can be applied to organizational units that are listed here, and also Google Groups. So let's go ahead and create a Google Group. Under Directory, Groups, we will create a new group and we'll call it IMAP Access. We'll create this as a security group as it does not need to be mail enabled. Make it restricted, and only invited users can access the group. And the group is now created. Add the relevant members that need IMAP access into your group. Once you've done so, select Done. We can now go back to our POP and IMAP settings under Gmail, End User Access, and we can see that IMAP access is still enabled under OU. Instead, we can select Groups, select the group that we just created, and we can apply the relevant settings. So we can leave IMAP enabled for this Google group and select Save. Sometimes you may need to re-authenticate if you've been in your admin console a long time. Let's just double check our configurations. Often you will need to redo the setting if it timed out while you were saving. As we can see, it's still not set. So we'll select save. And we can see that the policy has now been applied to the Google group. We can go back to our organizational unit now, go to our top level, select the top level policy and disable IMAP. We can do this because the users still continue to have access via the Google group policy, and therefore you can limit who gets this policy quite easily. You can now look at phasing out IMAP access within your school environment. Thank you for watching this video and making these changes.